So when you're in the humane forest, sometimes the Viet Cong and NVA will be hiding, have hideouts. Could you describe how they had secret hideouts in the forest?
Yeah, when we have an operation to the human forest, we always make the first landing on the edge of the forest, to the edge, because the human forest is very large area, and we stop and we start the first landing on the edge of the forest, where we may get contact with them. And after the contact, they try to disperse. When the night comes, they try to disperse. And we cannot find out where are they. That's their skillful tactic. And I recommend to my regiment commander, give me some time, without any contact, without any supply, without any support. We will disappear silently into the forest. And my tactic is that I will split out. For example, I have four company. I keep one with me for reserve, and I split out the other 3 company, scatter to small ambush unit, and stay there for days. And the communists, the guerrilla, or their one time part of their medical section hiding underwater. They cannot stay there too long, and they have to emerge, and we capture them alive and silently. Usually it is flooded area, and they try to dive down and to raise up in a foxhole above the water level to hide over there with their very least of food, of water, and even maybe the oxygen to take their breath. If we stay there silently for a long time, they assume that we left the area already, and they submerge, they emerge. When I get the support that they are sound of their moving, I always order not to shoot, not to use low voice to stop them, but very quietly catch them. Sometimes catch them a meter away from each other, meter away from each other, so that the follower will follow them. That is the best tactic to catch the VC in the human forest. And I use that tactic for many times, and it shows very effective. Of course, later they know that, they daren't apply that to their operation any longer. But since that, they are afraid to attack us on the night time, because they know that we spread out and set up many ambushes to fight against them. So inside the human forest, we master the situation, not them. That's it.
And just to clarify, so because there's the mangrove trees and there's mud and there's plants growing, it's easy for them to go underwater and then come up into an area that is above the water with air.
It's not easy, because there are not many of them. I don't know how to say it, but above the weather, there's always some dune of earth raised above the weather, about the size of the table, not much, or half of a house, or about the size of the table. And it raised the question into our mind. We try to search it, but it's not easy unless we stay there for long, and they will emerge.
So in Canada, they have the beaver lodge, and the beaver goes underwater and comes up inside. Is it a little like the beaver lodge?
Yeah, the same principle. Yeah, the principle. They dive down and raise up. Yeah. In somewhere, sometimes not need right over there. They dive down over here, but they will hide over there. Yeah, yeah.
So do you think they dug those out themselves?
Yeah, themselves by hand and by the shower. They have the tool which dug the mud very easily. They dig it.
So you were describing a helicopter, some helicopter landings and some tactics that you were using. Did you want to talk more about doing different types of landings and approaches about with the helicopters on the attacks? Or
usually we try to get a safe landing zone. That's what we want. From that safe landing zone, we get enough strength and we organize the formation to attack the main objective. That's what we want. But sometimes we estimate wrongly. We land down on the hot landing zone like I have tell you about that. But actually we try to avoid that. Yeah. Usually we have a series of objectives, the main one and the not important one, to seize the objective one after another. Yeah.
at this time, do you think you're fighting more VC or North Vietnamese regulars?
Oh, for the first period of time, I think that I would say before 1969. Later, there are division infiltrate from the North Vietnam to the South Vietnam and to the Mekong Delta, you know, by their secret way across Khmer, across Cambodia territory to the fourth corps. Yeah.
So your unit, you said that you sometimes go out on search and destroy missions, which you have described in the forest. Is there times where you have to go to defense of a village or somewhere being attacked?
One time, when our battalion, I was an executive officer at that time, we have a mission to defend one hamlet of pacification, and they attack us on a, we call the dawn raid. But they failed because they miscalculate. I don't know why it led to their failing, but they attack too late before the dawn. And most of our soldiers wake up already, yeah, and we are ready to fight again then. After that, we organize the counter attack to pursue them and to kill a lot of them too. It happened not in the very far in the forest, but close to the town, yeah, in Kamau. Yeah. That's one time. And besides, there's one battlefield happened at the night time when my mission is to defend a CP for the regiment. The regiment organized an operation over there with 3 battalions, and they set up a CP, and my battalion take the role as reserve and defense that command post. I remember about noon of that day, after landing, they ordered us to check one objective not far away from the CP. Right away at the landing, they shoot at us. It's another landing zone. Very, very dangerously with the machine gun. They swept parallel to the surface of the terrain, and with very strong sound of maybe the machine gun, the 50 caliber 50, it trembled the soil. Right away I recognize that it's a suicide to take an attack. Right away I think that we have to withdraw, and I report the situation right away, and so agree my advisor team, and we try to evade that killing, come back to the CP for defense. The night time, that same unit attacked us fiercely, but it's very lucky to us. I tell you about this. This is another story, very interesting, but really a surprise for us. When we go on operation, we have a group of people who are deserters. That's just the truth. Many people doesn't want to tell that, but I want the truth. When they are deserters and we catch them back, we don't give them weapon, bare hand only. And I remember that group of deserters number about 12, a dozen of them. My deputy of regiment commander, he's a colonel, I don't know why, he think that he used that team of deserters to clean up a patch of reed this high, to clear up them before our line of defense. At night time, they attack us and they miscalculate. They think that the risk is still far away from being exposed. They don't know that the risk was cut by that team of deserters, so that they expose themselves to our sentinel. Our sentinel shoot them, kill them, and I report to the CP of my regiment. They didn't believe. They think that you are worried too much, you are fearful, you are the duck, something like that. 3 times I report. At last they awake. The CP think that maybe Vo tell the truth, and they say that I will give you 1 flare to check. When the flare blow out, they open fire right away. Thanks of the reed clear up by surprise, we kill a lot of them. You know, even the advisor of my unit, he jumped over my back due to the panic because they are too close. When they cross the reed, they are face to face with us, and the result is that a lot of them got killed. Of course, at that time they cannot withdraw with their casualty, and we capture them alive too. Some of them jump into the artillery platoon where the CP with them. they catch them alive. And another truth is that the platoon who take the role as a sentinel ambush outside, they hear the movement of the VC, but at that time they are too close. They daren't talk to the CP. They cannot report. They cannot show. They keep silent to let them pass away. That is the bad behavior, but that's really happened. And we avoid the bad attack from the enemy thanks to the colonel who used that team of deserters. Yes, something like that happened in the field, which gives us the chance to win them. That's it.
You mentioned an advisor. Are you talking, who is your advisor? You said an advisor was with you.
Yeah.
Is that an American?
I was a battalion commander at that time. there's always a group of advisors attached to us all the time. At that time, the advisor still with us until the Vietnamization of the war, or the advisor group withdraw later. Even when my unit attacked Cambodia, they just crossed the border 5 miles and then they go back to Vietnam. And we ourselves continue to operate on Cambodia terrain.
These are American advisors,
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah.
How did you find working with them? Were you cooperative? Did they think they knew everything, or what was the
No.
relationship?
To me, all group of advisors are the good one because they know they keep silent to observe how we behave, how we command our group. And if there is anything that they doubt or they don't understand, they check with us. We discuss peacefully, very good cooperative. All my military life, I find that the American advisor very useful. Very useful. Like, I don't remember if I have told you yet. It is one night I was under the raid of the Viet Cong, and I am very embarrassed. I don't know if they will overrun us, and I hear the helicopter from the Thailand Bay. Why they know and why they come to help us, thanks of the good idea of my advisor hidden from me. He didn't say anything, but he recognized the situation is very dangerous. He himself made the decision to ask the fire support from the Thailand Bay. On the sea floor on the Thailand Bay, the Sea Wolf helicopter take off and come to help us. And it was heavy, misty, the Minh Forest at the night time, covered by a very thick mist. I don't think the helicopter can see clearly beneath, but thanks of the crop line, they can see. After a while, they can recognize our position and give a very good close support and push out the attack from the Viet Cong. At that time, I am so grateful to my advisor. That is an example, their excellent support. And the previous story about how the VC attack, they fail, and they go into the artillery platoon. There's one gunship of the U.S. Army shoot down. Yeah. Because at night time there's a group of bamboo tree, very, very big bunch of bamboo tree raised up high. And I don't know, by vertigo or by the VC shoot, they hit that bamboo tree and explode. All the crew killed. They sacrificed a lot during the Vietnam War. Another example, in one Heliborne operation, one lieutenant just got out from West Point, got killed by just one bullet, hit himself on his leg. He is the only one people got hit and got killed on the helicopter before the landing. Something like that happened. So I myself and many of our fellow citizens or fellow soldiers are so grateful for the American to help in Vietnam War. Yeah, that's from the deep of our heart. And their story about one American advisor got captured. You may stop this and we will tell that story later. I just remember it.